I'm going to write down the names of the four people: Wenlu, Xander, Yasser, and Zoe, just abbreviating for the first letter of the names, so WXYZ. Now, we're interested in the possible numbers of people telling the truth, so we don't know, but I'm going to make an assumption. This is quite a good approach for these sorts of questions. I'm going to assume, just to start with, that Wenlu at the top is telling the truth, and then follow through the logic to see what everyone else is doing. So because Wenlu says that Xander is lying, that means that Xander must be lying. And then Xander says that Yasser is lying, but because Xander is lying, it must mean that Yasser is actually telling the truth. And then because Yasser is telling the truth, it must actually be that Zoe is telling the truth. And finally, Zoe says that Wenlu is telling the truth, which he is. So it all kind of works out, and it's possible that three people could be telling the truth. Now, that's not necessarily the answer E yet, because what if we went with the opposite assumption? What if, I nearly wrote false, what if Wenlu was actually lying to start with? Now, because Wenlu is lying and they're saying that Xander is lying, actually means that Xander now is telling the truth. If Xander is telling the truth, then they're saying that Yasser is lying, so that must be true. They are lying. And then Yasser says that Zoe is telling the truth, but they're lying, so Zoe is lying. And then it corroborates with Wenlu as well, because Zoe says Wenlu is telling the truth, but she was lying, so that means Wenlu is lying. So it all kind of works out, and in this case, one person's telling the truth. And therefore, that's our answer. Either one or three people are telling the truth. We don't know for sure, but we know logically that must be the situation.